Every manufacturing project has tasks, or steps, or phases, or activities that define the work you perform. Now, some of those tasks are dependent upon others. In other words, you can't start one step until another is completed, or there may be phases later in the process that won't start until previous phases are finished. Those are called task dependencies. Tasks are linked, and their dates depend upon previous tasks. In this video, we'll take a look at 4 types of task dependencies that model actual conditions on the shop floor. Let's take a look. So here in standard time, we'll look at 4 distinct types of link relationships, which you can see by the lines and the arrows in the Gantt chart. So the first one we'll look at is finish to start, which is the most common, then start to start, then finish to finish, and then finally we'll take a look at start to finish. So let's go ahead and take a look at the most common link relationship, which would be the finish to start. So the starting date of a successor task is linked back to the finish date of another. So when this task ends, another can start. So that's the most common. We'll go ahead and move this task, and you can see that the next task updates because this one has been moved. Finish date on this one changed, so that changes the starting date of the successor task. The next type would be start to start. So you can see that the starting date of this task is linked back to the starting date of another, and when that one is moved, then the successor is also moved because the 2 start dates are linked together. The third type would be finish to finish, where the finish date of this task is linked back to the finish date of another. Again, we move that, the 2 finish dates are linked together, and when the predecessor moves, then the successor would also be updated. Now the fourth type would be start to finish, where the starting date of this task goes down to the finish date of another, and when we move this task, then the successor also moves because the starting date is linked back to that finish date. The examples that you see down below are just some variations of what we've already looked at. We've got start to start, so when the starting date of this task changes, then the starting date of a successor task would change. Again, we've also looked at the finish to finish, so when the finish date of this one changes, then the finish date of the successor would also change. So you can combine these to form a nice little link relationship here. The long lines that you see on these milestones are lag times. So if we click on this link icon in the link column, we can go ahead and look at the lag times that you see connected with these link relationships. Now, I should point out that the inbound tasks that you see here, actually none here, are predecessors, and the outbound tasks are the successors. So these are linked together with certain link relationships, and in this case they have some lag time. So I'm going to go ahead and click here. You can see the finish to start link relationship, which we already looked at, and a lag time of 2 calendar days. Go ahead and close that, and then look at this one. We have start to start, which we've also looked at previously, with -4 calendar days. So cancel out of these, and that explains the long lines that you see here linked to these milestones. So that covers the 4 distinct types of link relationships in standard time that you can use for your projects.